Well, hey there, it's Jenny, and I'm so excited for another episode of Agent Success Secrets. I'm so happy to feature my friend Seychelle Van Poole. Seychelle, we've known each other for a really long time, and
Long time.
I always love learning with you. You are authentic and real, but yet a boss babe who gets stuff done and knows the importance of working hard, but also what I believe is most important is having alignment when it comes to your
hmm
family life and those things that matter most. So just tell everyone who you are and what you do and where you live and all that stuff.
Cool. I love it. Well, first off, Jenny, I adore you, and you know that, but I adore you, and I love the community you've built. And I know many. I have many of my friends that are in your communities, and the way you pour into people and the way you share with people, I think is just
It's so sweet.
fantastic. And it helps speed people up along their own journeys and gives them permission. And I think that's fantastic. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. Um, I'm Seychelle Van Poole, and my husband and I have been together 26 years, which is crazy. And I've been in real estate for 22 years. So I like to do things with awesome people and go far. That is kind of like my favorite thing is I want like a small amount of really deep relationships and we go really deep together. And so when you look at everything in our world, that's how we do it. Whether it is our real estate business that's having its 25th anniversary this year, my mom started. And yeah, and I started taking it over in '08 on running it and then officially bought her out in 22. We have our 25th anniversary. Many of our team members have been with us 22 years, 19 years, 16 years. Like a lot of our salespeople are 6 to 8 years. Like I like to go really far with people. And I know that's something you do well too. But I think you get to see life seasons together and you get to really grow together. And that's really fun for me. So we have a great real estate team that services Dallas, Fort Worth. And then with that, we have partnerships in mortgage and insurance, and we're working on a title partnership. So that's fun. And then we have investment properties. That's something we've done for a long time. We uh, basically returned our wedding gifts and bought our first rental property with it when we were in our early 20s. So we've been investors for a long time. And actually, those tenants just renewed for their 20th year alone on that property, which is cool. So it's like for us, it's kind of a theme of like, I want to go far with people that are in alignment. And then like to carry that over onto the personal side, we walked with my dad through a long Parkinson's journey. And when he passed away, we had just been grinding away for, 18 years in real estate just to make sure that they had security, that they were provided for, that my mom could take care of him and we could take care of them. And we saw that mission through. I thought it was going to be like a 5 year mission, and it was like a 18-year mission, which is a really, really long time to walk alongside somebody with that disease. And for the first time in my adult life, Nick and I were then faced with the question of like, what do we want?
Mm.
And so over the last 4 years, we've really been not only having to do like the unwinding of like reinventing like your business, putting it into alignment with what you want, because for the first time now you are going after what you want instead of what you're providing for everybody else. So completely reinventing our business, which fell apart at that time too. So it was like we kind of got this like opportunity to reinvent that, but then also really asking the questions of like, what is wealth like for like a wealthy life? What does that look like? How do we fund that and how do we focus on that? Like, what is having a meaningful relationship with our now 12-year-old kid, and like how do I show up as a parent, how do we show up as partners in marriage? And so I know that's a lot of info in a very short period of time, but that's really been the last 4 years have really been unwinding a lot of conditioning of what society tells you need to do and our industry tells you what you need to do, and instead really going, but is that what we want? So yeah, that's where we're
Beautiful.
at.
A beautiful way to share all of that. Thank you. And when you paused and you asked the question, what do we really want? What do I really want? What did you come
Yeah.
up with? I'm sure that took a lot
Well,
of soul
I
search.
mean, I think your first instinct is to just go burn it all down. I
Yes,
don't know if you.
had that,
I
lived
think I actually
that.
saw you at family reunion in the middle of that, and we had like a quick moment, and I was like, maybe I just burn it all down. That was not the answer, but I was. I mean, you ask all the questions, right? Because you're just we were just like charred, like in the in the bonfire when you like see the little lumps of coal that are just like so charred that like you touch it and they go like into dust. That's probably where we were at in that process, because just everything all hit at the same time. The team falling apart, dad's health, homeschooling a kid, COVID, like I mean, you name it, it was all at the same time. Um, and so I did a lot of counseling. I did a lot of boundary therapy. It was the first thing I really had to learn how to do, was a lot of boundary therapy and learning what boundaries actually were, how to set them, how to protect our peace. And then Nick and I really started just focusing on like what brings joy in our time. And then you start looking at how you build energy with time. And so I had my schedule so stacked across the week and it was consistent across the week, but that meant that I had no breathing space.
Mm.
And a good friend of ours, Tiffany Fikes, said, I think I'm going to redo my schedule and I'm going to actually make it in alignment with how my energy flows during the week. And I was like, you can do that?
She's a smart
she's
lady.
she's so smart. I'm always like, you're like two steps ahead of me at all times, which is nice because then I'm like, what are you doing? Because it's
Yeah,
probably what I'm about to do. And she's like, yeah, I have a white space day now. And I was like, you can do that? She's like, yeah,
well,
I have a white space
efficient.
day. I was like, wow, that's cool. I'm going to do that. So
Yeah,
like, I think you just start stacking it. So for us, like it started with a small thing during COVID. We took our whole team virtual. We sold our office space.
yeah.
We haven't gone back. And so we've been virtual. And then we bought our lake house. And so I run the team from Northern Michigan for June and July. Eventually, it'll probably be 6 months a year, but while we still have a kid in school, June and July, we do up in Northern Michigan. So that's our favorite beach behind me. It's Good Harbor. Um, and then from there, it became like our meeting times used to start at 8 a.m. in person. Now they start at 9:30 because Nick and I do a walk every morning together before
Yeah,
that. So it's like, I think you just start small stacking, to your point, the permission
yeah.
that you give yourself. You don't need it from anybody else, but you give it to yourself. And what was cool is like when we started living authentically, it gave my team members permission to do breakfast with their family. It gave them permission to drop their kids off at school. It gave them permission to get a workout at the gym before we start. And funny enough, our business didn't go down from
No.
doing it. Nobody died. Like the business didn't go down, but I think the joy and the quality of life went up. And so when that happens, though, you can't then slough off and not be laser focused on the time that you are spending. I think it makes you that much more laser focused and the time you're willing to give your business so that it gives you full permission to enjoy the life on the other side.
Yeah, I don't even need to ask my questions because you are just sharing the exact message that I thought was so important. And you said something in that, and we're women, we're moms, we're wives, we're friends, we're community givers, we're
Yeah.
leaders.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of hats to wear. And so I love that you realized, oh, I can, we call them buffer blocks, or
Love that.
I front load my
Yeah.
week to be more full and then have more flex on the end. And I've just had to learn that through my own trial and errors, but sometimes
Yeah.
I still can scroll the socials and compare
Hmm.
myself to others that I am not doing as much as I should or as successful or getting as many likes or follows, etc. So how
Yeah.
do you protect your mindset when it's impossible to not compare for a second and
Yeah.
then turn it into internalizing
Hmm.
positive thoughts for yourself?
I think that's a great question. I think the first thing I would say is time gives perspective. And
Mm.
I would love to say that like I could have arrived at this at year one, but I just don't think it's a reality. And so after grinding for 18 years, and I think many of your viewers will get there much faster than I did. But I do think there is a portion of your career that is just your grinding because you don't know what you don't know, and you have to fail forward and you have to put in the time to build the models and the systems and the success. I don't know that there's a cheat code for that. There's just not. You have to do it to have it. So I think there's part of that.
Mm.
But then I think you hit a point, and for me, it beautifully coincided with my 40s, which is perimenopause, which means your cares given just also kind of drops, which is awesome. So it was like a beautiful thing for me. And that my cares given just was like, if somebody thinks something about me, I don't care. I don't. I really don't. And they can tell it to my face and I still won't care.
I love this part of maturing.
So
Isn't it great?
so great. I wish I could have gotten to my 40s and my 20s. It would have made me so much more chill. Um, but I think there's a little bit of that where like you get to an age and a wisdom that your imposter syndrome drops. And I think your clarity around where you want to go also has to get so clear that it doesn't compare itself to what somebody else's joy looks like. And I can give you a great example of that. Like one of my best friends is Sarah Reynolds, who is one of the most phenomenal business leaders. I tell her all the time, I'm like, you're like the John Maxwell of today. She's building this incredible business with these amazing humans that are in person. It is in the office at a specific time. They have a specific cadence and schedule. She has different leverage at home than what I want in my house, but it works for her. It's perfect for them. It's her joy. And if I was sitting here comparing, and she even has a team in my market center with Dan Harker, who's a friend who I love. They run completely different than how we run. And as a dear friend of mine, seeing her business intimately up close, I would be not showing up as a good friend and as an authentic person if I was constantly comparing what they're building to what I want to build. And I think giving yourself that grace and permission to say, both can be awesome, both can be fantastic. And I think she would say the same thing about me, like what Seychelle's building is great, but that's not the path I'm on at all. And so I think the faster we can get there and embracing each other and supporting strong business owners building something really cool, I think the easier it gets to celebrate where you're at in the journey too.
That's so good and so powerful. And I want to go back just a moment because we have earned the right at this point. We have done
Yeah.
the grind and we've taken the time to build the
Yeah. I mean, we've
system.
done the 16-hour days, we've done the 18-hour days, we've done the in the car at 6 a.m., getting home at 11 p.m. I mean, we've done that. I don't think you can cheat that to your point. Yes.
And with you can't cheat it, you run a team, you work with younger agents in this business. And so I am finding that this new generation, they want the fast track because we're
Of
showing that it's
course.
possible.
Of
And so
course.
how are you coaching to your maybe younger in experience and maybe even younger in life agents when you are at a different place, but still reminding them that they may work in the evenings and definitely on the weekend?
Weekends. Yeah. Well, I think it's a question of I mean, I have the conversation all the time of what do you want your net income to look like?
Mhm.
Because it's not gross, it's net when you work on a team, right? So what do you want your net income to look like? And then I had one of my team members at one point when he was new on the team say, I want to be you. And I said, awesome. Well, let's talk about what that looks like. Right? Great. I'm in. I'll help get you there. But here's what it's going to look like is it's going to be 6 days a week,
Yeah,
probably 12 to 14 hours a day for the next 5 years. Are you willing to do that? And no vacations, by the way.
right.
And he's like, and he thought about it for like a month and came back and he's like, thought about it. Don't want that. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm not trying to tell you don't go after it, but I also think we're naive if we say, well, I want to be in the Olympics, but I'm not willing to train for 35 hours a week. Like it's just, it's the thing. And so now he's very clear and we have a great relationship and he's still on the team, but he's very clear on like, actually, I don't want your role. I don't want to do that. What I want is to have a high quality of life and a really good income. But maybe my income isn't as high as yours because I'm not willing to go do those things.
Yeah.
But I can still have a really great income and I have more time because I have the leverage and the systems that you provide. And so I think you just have to be super honest with it. And it's not from a place of like scarcity of like they can't go do it. It's just are you actually willing to go do that?
And is this a conversation that is had? I know you were just getting off a one-on-one with team members. That's part of your role in leading your
Yeah.
team. And so, what are you hearing from them in today's market? It's different, Seychelle. It's different, but it's kind of back to normal, but it's different.
I
It's
mean,
like,
it's
it is what it is, always what it is.
yeah.
And we just have to
I mean,
deal with it.
I love a harder market because it's actually where your clients really need you and value your opinion and your expertise. And I think for those of us that have lived before, it's an amazing opportunity to be ahead of the curve, to pour into our people, to tell them what to expect. And if you're not with a ton of experience and haven't lived, the last 22 years or 20 plus years in these markets, go find someone that has and go learn from them. That's what I did in the last market. I picked up the phone and called the top 50 producers in the country and said, what are you doing? And what do I need to know that I don't know? And they were willing to share. So I think, for our team members and our agents that haven't experienced this, go look at the toughest markets. Dallas Fort Worth is one of them. Austin is one of them. Like, go look at some of the toughest markets. We've been in a hard market since 2023 and say, what are you doing? How are you doing it? What do I need to know? And I think that will shortcut a lot. But it's I tell our team members all the time, you're going to work harder. You're going to have more appointments, but it's absolutely possible. You just need to put your head down and have some, like, gamify it. Like, we're doing a lot of contests, a
Yeah.
lot of fun, a lot of play, because if the market's hard, you got to find other ways to have a good time.
Well, let's talk about that. I want to hear something that's been gamified. I love adding in some contests to the team to get some momentum and some energy up. Do you have any
Yeah.
fun ideas to share?
Well, I mean, I love a costume contest or something like that. But also, like, just even like look, I always look at when I create a contest is what's the leading lever or the leading indicator of activity that will drive the rest. So, like, right now we're running 30-day contests and sprints because I think putting pressure on something for 30 days, and we report on it twice a week. So, like, we got to keep the leaderboard going. But we're running it. So you get 1 point for an appointment set, 2 points for like a listing or buyer rep signed, and then 3 points for a contract. And then we're creating a leaderboard for that that's showing. And then there's cash prizes at the end because, when the market's tight, cash is king, right? So we're running cash contests.
You're,
Um,
you're finding that they're enthusiastic about it?
I mean, contracts are up double month over
Yeah.
month because of it. So, yeah, I mean, I think I think they would still be doing well, but I think when you put pressure on something that you just haven't had the same focus on and the same playfulness around, and you're reporting in on it regularly because that's what you're focusing on, it drives activity. And so I think that that's been really helpful too.
I love that. And so as we're halfway through this year. 2026 is halfway through. We're having
Crazy.
our mid-year review. We
Yep.
reflect, we reset, we readjust if
Yeah.
needed. I mean, I think the mindset is key here for us, at least. We know from our sources of business, we track it to know that we're mostly referral and relationship based business, which you as well.
Yep.
So, how are you doubling down then, if that's what we need, on loving on your database?
Um, that's a great question. I think the biggest piece is I think a lot of agents get away from the voice to voice connection. And that is where, especially in a harder market where questions happen that they're not necessarily going to ask or text. So that I think there's a couple things we've done. We've kept video emails going 3 times a month. That we're on year 3 of that. That's really helped to, like, warm up our, like, broad database because that goes to about 10,000 people. But I honestly, in, like, our specific, really tight database, it's 3,200 people. It's
Yeah.
not 10,000. It's 3,200. And in there, we've got 150 that are VIPs that get gifts once a quarter. We do events, which, go out to about 1,000 of the 3,200. And that's twice a year. And so it's, you got to have your quarterly calls. We have our quarterly gifts to our top. We have 2 events a year. And then we have our touches of text and emails and mail and all those other things in between. But I think it's being consistent. I don't know that you need to go reinvent the wheel. I think it's just looking at what hole do I have or what conversation am I not having and making sure that you're calling that out. And so for us, it's just making sure our database is really educated on the market, especially if somebody bought in the last 3 years. They're probably underwater on their house right now. And so that's a real conversation. We put a house under contract yesterday that buyers or the sellers bought it at 790. We're under contract at 705 today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
It is hard. And just education is always still going to be the key. So everything I heard that you said is a system and you just
It
follow
is.
it. It's a
Yeah.
system and you follow it.
And
And
then you tweak. Like
yeah,
I think
adjust along the way.
I used to be tempted to go like change everything all the time. And I think it honestly, the best way, over the last 10 years, the best thing we've learned, and our admin team is really to credit for that, is it's small tweaks over time. And you tweak it and test it and tweak it and test it. And that's really what creates the magic. And if you want a massive result between now and the next 90 days, we'll put pressure on yourself for the leading domino. And that domino is going to be the quality and the number of conversations that you have with people that know, like, and trust you. That's it. It's
That's
very
it.
simple. Yeah.
It's not some magic pill, silver bullet. It's just
No.
the key is
Yeah.
consistency and
Well,
conversation.
and the conversation we're having with our team members is, what are you doing to grow your database so
Yes.
that you're getting more bonuses and referrals? And so our next competition will be for our 25th anniversary later this year. We're going to have a call-in contest. We do it at least once a year. And when we have it, the month leading up to that, it's going to be a contest for number of contacts that are quality added into the database for the team members. So that way, when we are calling for the contest, they already have it front loaded in with some good solid additions there. So, it's all just gets back to, if you don't have enough people to call, then that's your leading domino. If you have enough people, but you haven't called them, that's the leading domino. So
It's so simple and still such a challenge for some of us. I
it
want
is
to
hard. Yeah, it's
I want
hard.
to wrap up with this one final question is if someone is watching and they're currently feeling stuck, feeling a little burned out, maybe like they've just kind of lost themselves in this business or in their personal lives, what
Yeah.
is something that you would hope that they'd hear and take away from your message?
I think it is very fair to feel that way. I think it's the first thing.
Yeah.
It's If you're feeling that way right now, I give you full permission to feel that way.
Yes.
Because I definitely a couple years ago was very there. The best thing that I did was, I'll actually hold this up to show you, is I went back to a paper calendar. And I know this is like super old school, but like I went back and I started authoring, yeah, like literally authoring my calendar and observing what my weeks were looking like. And when I first started doing this, I don't even know if I had time to pee. It was like, I mean, it was so stacked every day, every minute accounted for. And I realized, I was like, I am burnout because I have lost my sense of self in my busyness. And when I started actually then with a pencil, like erasing things on my calendar,
Mm.
like, and looking out, I look out 2 weeks ahead of time at all times. And so when I'm looking 2 weeks out, it's very easy to move something. When
Yeah.
it's the night before, it's very hard. And so when I started looking 2 weeks out and started then moving my calendar to be more in alignment with where my energy is, to your point, the beginning of the week is my highest energy. That's where I stack my hardest stuff. And then I give myself more flow in the back for surprises and things that I want to do.
Yeah.
It's made the business feel a lot more sustainable for the long run. And so if you're feeling burnout, maybe that could be an easy calendar audit of an exercise to go like investigate how your energy is being spent. And that might free you up to get some breathing room to recharge. Shoot, go take a nap in the middle of the day if you have to. But like recoup a little bit so that then you can focus on how you want to tackle the next half of the year. Because it's going to take more work. And that's okay. Just stack it where you have the most energy then.
And you have permission. I love the word permission because sometimes it's giving ourselves permission. We have
Yes.
permission to pause.
Yes.
We have permission to think. We have permission to sit. And I, like you, would be like, I've got to fill every second to be
Yeah.
productive because that's
Yeah.
what I'm
Because if
hearing.
I'm not productive, I'm not creating business and I'm not making stuff happen.
Yeah.
But like
But
also
protecting
that's
ourselves is what's most
yes.
important.
Yeah. Well, and if I don't have white space, I don't get to focus then on the creative aspects
Mhm.
that I actually know are what created the business to begin with.
Yeah.
And so if I'm so busy, then I'm missing the opportunity to pour into our people, to better serve our clients, to better build the business and marketing that I like to do. And maybe you've like maybe, and I'm speaking just broadly there to people that might be burnt out, but maybe you're missing some of the most fun, playful parts of the business because you're so in the grind. And maybe if you restructured your week, you could you could have more joy, more time, more breathing to do the things you want, and your business won't suffer, which is the cool part.
I could just keep talking to you all day, and I know that
I
you've
know.
got things to
I
do.
do. I love time with you too. So, but it's an amazing opportunity that we have to grow incredible incomes, build incredible careers for people. And if you're not careful, you will build a mousetrap for yourself.
Mm,
And so you just have to be really careful that you don't paint yourself into this business that you always thought you wanted, but you turn around and realize that you hate how you structured it. And it's okay if you have. I've done it. I'm sure you've done it too. To take a beat and take a step and say, I thought that was what I wanted. I even told my team, I thought this is what I wanted.
yeah,
And it turns out that I am miserable and I'm not going to last as a leader if I'm miserable and not authentic in my joy, because that means that you don't have authenticity in yours either. So by chasing after where your energy is and going after it, our business has become more profitable and is having more fun. So
that's a perfect place to end it. Will you tell everyone how they can best find and follow you?
yeah, you can give us a call at 972-608-0777, or Instagram is an easy way to find me too. It's at Seychelle VP for Van Poole. So
I love it.
those are probably the two easiest.
Thank you for being so
Thanks, Jenny.
authentic and real and sharing the secrets that have helped you be more in alignment with your joy while doing what you love with who you love from wherever you want to be, like, Michigan.
Aw. Yes, Michigan, Dallas, all the joy. So I love it. Thanks for
Thank
your
you.
time today, Jenny. You're awesome.
All right. Talk to you soon.